Jai Jinendra. In the last lecture, we talked about the doctrine of karma, and in this lecture, we shall go in details of this doctrine. The first thing to consider is subtypes of karma. We said that there are 8 types of karma, and each one of them is further divided into subtypes. The first is the Jnana-Varniya karma, and this has 5 subtypes. Number 1, Mati Jnana obscuring or Mati Jnana-Varniya karma, or what is called as perceptual cognition obscuring karma. The second one is Sruta Jnana-Varniya karma, or articulate cognition obscuring karma. The third type is Avadhi Jnana-Varniya karma, and what we call here is a clairvoyance obscuring karma. And the fourth one is a Manaha-Paryaya Jnana-Varniya karma, or we can call it as a mind reading obscuring karma. And the last one is a Keval Jnana-Varniya karma, or what we call as omniscience obscuring karma. These 5 types or subtypes of Jnana-Varniya karma must be properly understood. Although we are confined to the subtypes, but I would like to explain them a little bit, because these terms we very often come across in our discussions of Jain philosophy. These karmas, they obscure and limit the particular type of intelligence mentioned. That is, either it's a Mati Jnana obscuring karma will obscure the Mati Jnana ability of the soul and so on. In the mundane state, or that is in the embodied state, jnana or soul is clouded by karma, as we know that the karmas are obstructing manifestation of the soul powers, or the jnana or the intelligence of the karma. But irrespective of karma, some jnana always manifests. Irrespective of how strong is the karma some jnana will always be manifesting, and otherwise there will be no living being. In order that the living being is distinguished from the non-living being, it is necessary that the living being will have some jnana. It can be however small or minuscule it can be, but some jnana will always be manifesting. Even in the smallest type of living being, for example bacteria, there will be, or plants, there will be some kind of jnana. And this manifested jnana is divided in 4 classes based on the intensity of the well and the functions performed by the jnana, as we have described just now. So then, what is Mati Jnana or perceptual cognition? The definition can be given. When the soul well, or the obstruction is thicker, the manifested jnana is known as perceptual cognition, and this cognition takes help of senses and mind to cognize the object. So, in the presence of karma, the jnana which is manifesting, or the intelligence which is manifesting and cognizing the objects, or doing the cognition function, is Mati Jnana. And this takes help of senses and mind. So in a way we can call that the knowledge which we gain through senses and mind is mati gyan or perceptual cognition. And this is the ability of the individual soul. So the soul has the ability to gain this kind of knowledge. The second one we say sruta gyan, or because articulate knowledge or articulate cognition. When the soul through perceptual cognition can recognize the object known by another soul, then this is known as articulate cognition or sruta gyan. In the case of mati gyan, you yourself are cognizing the object, or you yourself are gaining the knowledge with the help of your senses and your mind. But in the case of sruta gyan, you know the object through someone, someone else has known this, and through him you learned about this particular thing. So this is known as sruta gyan. So the perceptual cognition which has been done by another soul and you receive it or you know it is articulate cognition. So anything written or anything verbal or anything in the digital form and through any such media is articulate cognition, because this has been done by somebody else, and then you are reading it or you are seeing them or you are watching them and so on. When the karma veil is thinner, when the karmas are little less, the soul attains the ability of cognition without the help of senses and mind. This is known as a direct cognition. So the soul has the ability to cognize directly without senses and mind. But this ability comes only when the karmas have been reduced to a certain extent or to a certain level. And these direct cognitions are of two types, clairvoyance and mind reading, as been described above. And when the karma veil is completely eliminated, so these four divisions of knowledge cease to exist, and the natural intrinsic jnana of the soul then can cognize all objects, small and big, near and far, past or future, and the self manifests. So when the psychical karmas have been eliminated, the soul gains the ability to directly cognize all objects in the world, and in all times, whether they're small or large or big or small and so on, or whether they are near or far, does not matter. The soul knows all the objects. This is omniscience, or what is known as a keval gyan. So I briefly defined these 5 types of knowledge. Then we talk about the subdivisions of darshanavarniya karma. There are 9 subtypes. The first one, chakshu darshanavarniya karma, or ocular awareness obscuring karma. The second one is non-ocular or achakshu darshanavarniya karma, non-ocular awareness obscuring karma. In the first case, chakshu darshanavarniya, the perception is through eyes. In the achakshu darshan case, the perception is through other senses other than vision. Excuse me. Then we have clairvoyance, awareness obscuring, or avadhi darshan obscuring karma. And lastly, omniscience or keval gyan darshanavarniya karma, or the keval gyan obscuring karma. And besides these 4, you have 5 types of sleep, and the sleep completely obscures your perception. And there are 5 types of sleeps, light or heavy or very heavy and something like this. And this of course refers to all kinds of beings in nature, not only to human beings. Remember, So the 5 types of sleeps are defined for all beings. Then third one is Mohaniya karma, and this has 2 subdivisions as we said earlier, and with a total of 28 subtypes. The first one is a darshan mohaniya karma, or the belief deluding karma, and this karma prevents the innate ability of belief and faith in truth. That is, so somebody considers himself to be a body and not a soul. So this is untrue, and this is because of belief deluding or darshanavaniya karma. It has 3 subtypes. The first one is mithyat, or the wrong belief deluding karma. This is the main karma, which is responsible for our worldly existence. Mithyat, wrong belief. Upon fruition of this karma, the soul has faith in non-reality. It does not know the real nature of its own nature. Does not know that he is a soul, a person is a soul and not a body, which is a wrong belief. And this is because of mithyat, or wrong belief deluding karma. The second one is right wrong belief deluding, or samyak mithyat mishra karma. Upon fruition of this karma, the soul has a mixed kind of belief. Sometimes it has a wrong belief, sometimes it has a right belief. And the third one is samyak prakriti mithyat karma, or the clouded right belief deluding karma. Upon fruition of this karma, the quality of the right belief is not destroyed, but the soul has an unsteadiness, it's impurity, and or lack of firmness in right belief. Does not believe in the wrong belief. At the same time, it has hesitation in believing the right belief or having the right belief. Then the conduct deluding, or the charitra mohaniya karma, destroys one's equanimity of conduct, as I said last time, and prevents experiencing the existence of the soul. It has 2 subtypes. First is Kashaya, or patience karma, and there are 4 patience: anger, krodho, ego, that is maana, deceit, maya, and greed, labha. These are the main patience. Excuse me. And all these 4 may be in 4 grades. In decreasing order of their effects, these 4 grades are: number 1, anantanam buddhi karma. This is the strongest patience, and that causes endless transmigration of the soul. So the soul will go on in endless transmigration if anantanam buddhi karma prevails or persists or is there with the soul. They prevent faith in reality. So with this karma, the soul will never realize the reality. Then apratyakhana varniya karma. So if the first one, the anantanabandhi karma, has been eliminated or has been destroyed, for example, then the next 3 prevail, they remain with the soul. So when apratyakhana varniya karma remains with the soul can practice anuvrat. There are 5 anuvrat without pratima, without austerity. So soul will practice anuvrat, that is, it will practice the 5 anuvratas, but it will not observe any kind of pratima or austerity. So without observing or without going into these further restrictions, the soul can have anuvrat. When this karma, apratyakhana varna karma, is also eliminated, then the next 2 types or the last 2 types would remain. And so with this pratyakhana varna karma, the third one, the soul practices austerities, anuvratas and austerities both. So you practice anuvrata, at the same time you also practice what is called as pratima, which are special kind of observations or restrictions put on your conduct by yourself, voluntarily. There are 11 pratimas, we are not going to discuss that. So soul will observe the anuvrata as well as pratimas, that is, it will austere action. And when this is also eliminated, pratyakarana varna karma is also eliminated, then what remains is samjvalan karma. And in this case, the soul will practice Mahavrata, So this is applicable to Munis. So they observe Mahavrata, they have only this type of karma. The other three types have been destroyed or eliminated or have been subsided. But a Muni is not Vitragi. A Vitragi is one where this last one, Samjulan karma, is also has been eliminated, And these four divisions are there for all the four patients, The anger will also have these four divisions. The ego will also have these four divisions and so on. So that means there are total of 16 subtypes, 4 patients into 4 grades gives you 16 subtypes. Then the second division is quasi-patients, or no Kashaya karma. And these are of 9 subtypes. They are Hash, which is known as laughter, Rati means indulgence, Arati means dissatisfaction, Shok sorrow, Bhaya fear, Jugupsa means disgust, Purush Ved male disposition, Stri Ved female disposition, and Napunsak Ved hermaphrodite disposition. So these are the 9 subtypes of no Kashaya or quasi-patients karma. They also are cause of our mundane existence and our psychical performance. But these are secondary patients. The main patients are 4 which we discussed earlier. And these 9 are in a way helping patients, they help the other 4, and in their presence or in their action, the patients will behave in a more intensive or more strongly manner. Then we have feeling producing or vedaniya karma. This is of 2 subtypes, pleasure producing known as sata vedaniya and pain producing asata vedaniya. These are vedaniya karmas. These are the 2 subtypes of vedaniya karma or the feeling. These karmas will produce a feeling of pleasure or feeling of pain in you when they are active. And then we have age determining or the ayush karma. This karma is of 4 subtypes. There are 4 kinds. First, incarnation in the animal realm or the animal form. So one type of age determining ayush karma will give the soul birth in animal form in the next life, Then incarnation in the infernal realm or infernal form. The soul has a life of infernal being or hellish being. Incarnation in the human realm. So the soul has incarnation or form or life as a human being. And incarnation in the celestial or heavenly realm. So soul has a heavenly life, it is born as a deva and have that kind of life. So these are the 4 kinds of age determining or ayush karma. Then form producing or nam karma. This is very important from scientific point of view. This karma determines the physical structure, the architecture, the form of the organism and its operations, So it decides the entire physical existence as a gross body, and the operation of the gross body. They are all decided by nam karma, or the form producing karma. And as I said, it has a great scientific importance, and we shall discuss these in detail in our later lectures. Many of the lectures will refer to this karma. And this karma has 42 subtypes, maximum number, and 93 subdivisions, as follows. So because these are important, we will study all the 14 types or the subtypes. The first one, the realm of existence, or gati nam karma, what we call as, and this is of 4 types, 4 subtypes again, or 4 subdivisions of this karma. It gives the soul the shape or the form of an informal being, animal being, human being, and heavenly being. Of course, what form the soul will have is decided by the Ayush karma. But the shape in that realm or in that form, what will be the shape, the form, is decided by Nam karma. The next one is the genus of being, or Jati Nam karma. This is again of 5 it has 5 subdivisions, and this is it is the reason for soul to incarnate as a 1 sense being, or a 2 sense being, or a 3 sense being, 4 sense being, or 5 sense being. The 5 types, is decided by Jati Nam karma. Then body, or Sharir Nam karma. This is again of 5 types. It decides which of the 5 types of bodies the soul will have. And what are the 5 types of bodies? One is Audaric, or the gross body. The second one is protein body, or the Vakriyak body, which is possessed by hellish beings and heavenly beings. Migrating, Aharak body. This is a special kind of body which is not always possessed by soul, but sometimes in special occasions the soul migrates from one place to another in order to know something more, or in order to have answer to his unanswered questions or queries. Soul can travel from one place to the place where an omniscient is residing. It goes to the omniscient and get answers of all his doubts and questions, and come back to the original position. So such a migration takes place through migration of Aharak body. Then we have energy body, Tejas body, we already know about it, and Karman body. So these 5 types of bodies are decided by Sarir Nam karma. Then organ and limb, Angopang Nam karma. So it determines the formation of various primary and secondary organs and limbs at their proper place. So how the limbs and organs are formed at proper place is decided by Angopang Nam karma, and the organs and limbs had to be of proper size and proper shape. The next one is morphology, or Nirman Nam karma, and this determines that all organs and parts shall form and integrate in a proper way to produce a shape typical of the species. And the next one is body binding, Bandhan Nam karma. The fruition of this karma is the basis for bonding the atoms and molecules of the 5 types of bodies to ensure the desired quality. The next one is the formation of body, or Sangat Nam karma. The fruition of this karma forms a specific structure in the 5 types of bodies. The next one is figure of body, or Sansthan Nam karma. The fruition of this karma gives the body a definite shape. Considering all kinds of beings, there are 6 types of body figures, The first one is perfect symmetry all over, what is known as a Samchaturasth Sansthan. This is the best type of body figure. The next one is Nyagarod Parimandal Sansthan. Fruition of this karma is the cause for the body to be like a fig tree. The body is short and asymmetric below the navel and large and symmetric above it. The next one is Swati Sansthan karma. Fruition of this karma gives the body a tapering shape, broad and symmetrical in the lower extremities, but short and asymmetrical in the upper extremities. The next one is hunchback figure or kubjuk karma. The fruition of this karma gives the body a hunch in the middle of the part. The next one is dwarf or Vaman body karma. The fruition of this karma results in a dwarf or short body. Then asymmetrical Hundak body nam karma. Fruition of this karma gives an asymmetrical or irregular body. The next nam karma is firmness of body joints, known as Sanhanan nam karma. And this is of 6 types. Fruition of this karma joins the bones of the physical body with one another. And there are 6 types of joint structures. Number 1, known as Vajra Rishab Narach Sanhanan karma. This is the best body sanhan or the best body joints, what is known as a fully adamantine skeleton body. Fruition of this karma produces a structure with interlocking bonds on both sides, strengthened with pins and plates. It is very strong structure like steel. The next one is Vajra Narach Sanhanan Nam karma. This is a partially adamantine skeleton structure. So fruition of this karma produces a structure with interlocking bones on one side, with half pin and half plate on the interlocking of bones, with the pin. This structure is also very strong. The next one is unbreakable skeleton or Narach Sanhanan Nam karma. Fruition of this karma gives a structure with interlocking bones on both sides. The next one is semi-unbreakable skeleton, that is Ardh Narach Sanhanan karma. Fruition of this karma gives a skeleton structure with interlocking bones on one side and pins on the other side. Then riveted skeleton structure, Kilik Sanhanan Nam karma. Fruition of this karma gives a skeleton structure with riveted bone joints on both sides. So there is a pin between the two bones. The next one is loose skeleton structure, that is Asamprat Sampratika Sanhanan Supatik Sanhanan karma. Fruition of this karma gives a structure where two bones are bound by skin, sinews and flesh. This is the weakest type of skeleton structure. So there the bones are not joined properly, they just stay together. The next division of the Nam karma is the body color or Varna karma. And there are 5 types of color: black, blue, red, yellow and white. So the fruition of this karma determines the color of the body. And this can be divided in as a good or bad depending upon the appearance. Then the next division is body smells or Gandhanam karma. This karma determines the smell of the body or its parts, and the smell can be pleasant or unpleasant. Remember, all these descriptions apply to the whole range of species, and not to a particular species. The next one, the body taste or the ras karma. So the ras or the taste can be sweet, bitter, pungent, sour, and astringent. So this karma determines the taste of the full body or its parts, like fruits and leaves and so on. And you can again divide them into either good taste or bad taste. The next division is the body touches, sparsh, nam karma. And the sparsh is of 8 kinds: cold, hot, smooth, rough, light, heavy, soft, and hard. So these are the 8 kinds of touch. This karma determines the type of touch of the body, and this touch can be again pleasant or unpleasant. The next division of nam karma is migration or anupurvi body karma. This is of 4 kinds, and this karma helps the jiva to migrate in a proper direction from one life to another. When the soul migrates from one life to another, this karma helps in the migration process. And the next is self-annihilation or upagata body karma. Fruition of this karma provides a body that can harm itself, for example, a snake's horn. The next one is injury to others, paragat body nam karma. This provides a body that becomes a cause of injury to others. For example, poison in the mouth of a snake, sting in the tail of a scorpion, the paws of a lion, poison in a tree, etc. The next one is warm splendor or atap body nam karma. Fruition of this karma provides body that gives warm radiations. The body itself is not hot, but its radiations produce heat. Next one is a cold luster or udyot body nam karma. Fruition of this karma provides a body that gives off cold radiations such as a glowworm. Excuse me. Movement of body, gait, vyayogati nam karma. Excuse me. Fruition of this karma provides movement to the body. The movements are of 2 types, either graceful or ungraceful. Then the respiration, uchavas body nam karma. Fruition of this karma enables the body to have a respiration, that is, a respiratory system is properly formed in the body. Next we are considering the subtypes which run parallel. So these are 10 of them. There are 20 of them divided in 2 groups of 10 each, and only one set of 10 will exist at a time. The other one will not. So for example, mobile body nam karma or tras nam karma. So fruition of this karma provides mobility to the body, and the body then will be of 2 to 5 sense types. Or the opposite is immobile or sthavar body nam karma. So fruition of this karma provides a body that cannot move, for example, immobile organisms or plants and so on. So I will not go through these details of these 10, you can go through them. There are 10 sets of these nam karma. They are important, and please read them out. Last one of the nam karma is the Tirthankar Nam karma. The fruition of this karma provides a body suitable for omniscient or suitable for a Tirthankar. So this state of Tirthankar also is as a result of Nam karma. Remember, there is a particular type of Nam karma which when rises gives the Tirthankar body. It's a special kind of body. Then we have the seventh one in the list of 8 karmas, the Gotra karma or the status determining karma. This has 2 subtypes: high status or performance, known as Ucha Gotra karma. This karma means that the Jeev has a special jati or caste or race. Kul means family, Bal means power, and Roop means aesthetic appearance, Tap means perseverance and zeal, and then Shrut means education and scholarship, and Labh means gain, and Aishwarya means glory. So all these features are significance of high status or Ucha Gotra karma. In modern terminology, Jati and Kul can be considered to be hereditary effects or hereditary factors or genetic factors. Then Gotra karma is concerned with the physical aspects of performance of the Jiva, and because for the performance, the psychical aspects are also important, which are decided by Gati karma. Low status or performance or Nich Gotra karma. Nich Gotra is opposite of the high Gotra, which we have just discussed. Then vitality of scoring, or what is known as Antaraya karma, and it has 5 subtypes: Dan Antaraya, charity obstructing; Labh Antaraya, gain obstructing; Bhog Antaraya means enjoyment obstructing; Upabhog Antaraya means re-enjoyment obstructing; and willpower obstructing, Virya Antaraya. So these 5 types of obstructing karmas, and their meaning is obvious. Dan Antaraya will obstruct your capacity of giving charity and so on. The bonding and rise of all 5 subtypes take place simultaneously. The rise of vitality obstructing karma generates disinterest, bad health, grief, worry, etc. that creates reasons for the obstruction for the acts. So some kind of reason is developed which obstruct all these activities. Effects of karma. We have discussed, what are the various subdivisions of 8 types of karma. We briefly talk about what are the effects of these karmas after all, So in a nutshell, we say that the what does the Jnana-Varani karma do? In spite of willingness, the soul fails to know the subject. Its sensual and clairvoyant perception is obstructed. All these things are obstructed. Darshana-Varani karma, its effect is that the soul fails to become aware in spite of being alert of a subject that is in sight or otherwise is sensed. Either the sensual perception is blocked or it goes into state of sleep. Then Sata Vedani karma. The effect is the soul experiences pleasure in the form of words, sight, smell, taste or touch of favorable mental, verbal and bodily conditions. And the effect of Asata Vedani karma is soul experiences pain. This could be in the form of unpleasant words, sight, smell, taste or touch or adverse mental, verbal and bodily conditions. The effect of Mohani karma, the soul experiences a perverse state and fall in character, it can suffer from perverseness, a lack of righteousness, or both, or the attack of patience and quasi-patience. Then Ayush karma, the soul lives in the present body till the all Ayush karmas are exhausted. Then Shubhanam karma, the soul experiences higher physical and verbal conditions. It may have superior speech, looks, smell, taste, touch, movement, position, beauty, fame, physical strength, courage, valor, and melodious or impressive, effective, and mentally pleasing sound. Then Ashubhanam karma, in this case the soul experiences lower physical and verbal conditions. It may have inferior speech, looks, smell, taste, touch, movements or position, a loss of beauty, fame, physical strength, courage and valor, and a harsh, unimpressive, ineffective and mentally displeasing sound. Then high gotra karma, the soul experiences the state of elevated class, family status, power, position, industriousness, scholarly achievements, financial gains and prosperity. And the effect of low gotra karma, the soul experiences a state of lower class, lower family status, power and position, loss of hard-working nature, scholarly performance and prosperity, and suffers losses. Then Antaraya karma, the manifestation of soul powers is obstructed. It obstructs the activity of charity, gain, enjoyment, pleasure and spiritual initiatives. Then we can also anticipate or speculate in some way, in a very preliminary way, what is the relationship between karma and body. How do these karmas affect our gross body. This is the main subject here, which is studied by science, and we will discuss this subject in many other lectures. But here, just a glimpse, just a preliminary idea of how do the karmas relate to our physical or the gross body. So, say for example, Jnanavani and Dashnavani karma. These two types of karma are responsible for our cognition activity, and as this activity is assigned to brain, in medical science, so these two karmas are expected to be related to the functioning of the brain, through the conscious mind. A Mohani karma, since the perception is regarded as a mental phenomena in medical science, therefore the perception deluding karma should be related to functioning of the brain again. Similarly, the conduct deluding karma, which determines our desires, emotions, etc., must also be related to brain in some way, and endocrine gland system. Antaraya karma, our willingness or resistance to perform an act, is assumed to be governed by the mind, conscious mind. So the Antaraya karma therefore is expected to be related to mind and brain, some function of the brain. So these four karmas, or the so-called Gati karma or psychical karma, must be related to brain in some way. Then Vedaniya karma, which the production of pain, in medical science is found to be related to the state of tissues in the body, and the experience of pleasure has some connection with the secretion of hormones, as far as science is concerned. So the state of tissue is connected to local chemical activity and the performance of the genes. So it is speculated that the Vedaniya karma will influence the working of genes and the local chemical activity and secretion of hormones of the endocrine glands. So the Vedana karma and the mind, the man, together must produce the state of pain and pleasure, that we experience. Nam karma, which is a biological science, believes that the genes carries the code, according to which the design, construction, structure, growth, development, everything in the body is determined or decided. And if we say that it is the Nam karma which is responsible for these kinds of functions, so it is obvious that the different subtypes of Nam karma and will be related to or will have some similarity with the working of the genes, so that the different body parts are formed, organs are formed, and their functions are determined. So, and this karma also determines the growth, maintenance, and other activities of the body. Then gotra karma, the quality of the body functions or the body's performance, and this is also in science is ascribed to in some way to genes. So the gotra karma must also have a relation with genes. So this way genes control our performance of body parts and functioning of the living system, and therefore they are dependent on both the gotra karma and the Nam karma. And the Ayush karma, which is the principal cause for life, so the life functions as long as this karma is in balance. And the biological science says that functions, all the body functions are governed by bioelectricity. A dead body has no bioelectricity and no life. So Ayush karma must be related to bioelectricity in some way. So these are all preliminary observations, and we shall discuss all these points in detail in our later lectures. Thank you.